Hey YouTube, how you going? Welcome to another video. It's been a couple of days and if you've watched my previous one, you know we finished off with updating some of the logging and validation functionality and the associated testing of that. I'm just going to hit refresh on this chat because we didn't really get to where we wanted to, which was to have Claude explain in detail how it can use these instructions. So to make sure when it creates new code for us that it doesn't completely stuff up. So that's what we're going to do. But if you're new to this video, just very briefly, what I'm doing is I'm building a startup from scratch. Currently don't have an idea though, so what we're starting with is the user registration and login functionality, which is going to be required no matter what the idea is. And so far we've leveraged AI to build our user registration, our user login, the ability to verify users with an email verification token, forgot password functionality, and for the user to toggle on or off multi-factor authentication and have that MFA using email. So over here we had done a whole heap of code to do some validation and testing of that validation, and now I just want Claude to provide me with some instructions like it did for my error handling. So can you please provide me with a set of instructions I can upload to your knowledge base, project knowledge base, to ensure that you are aware, use, and recommend appropriate validation and appropriate approach to all validation and logging requirements in our project moving forward. Equally, this document should give you instructions on how validation errors work within our existing error handling functionality, for which you have previously provided instructions for. Remember, error handling in our application uses a new approach in Express.js 5. So let's see what it comes back with. And ideally we can upload this to our knowledge base. Okay. I reckon that looks pretty good to me. So we're going to download that file. We're going to come back here to our project. We're going to add that content. And hopefully now we've got our validation and we've also got our error handling instructions. So we've also got our previous folder here where we're looking at additional functionality we can add. I'm conscious that we've done a lot without doing a lot lately. So what we're going to do is add some new functionality. We are going to let's put it in here. So we're going to have the ability for the user to get their detail, get request to get user details of logged in user. We will extract user ID from the token to get this information. The response should provide their email address and company. Then we will put request to allow the user to update their email address. Let's just start with that. So we're going to do a new chat. I'm going to type out a little bit of what I just did. Okay, we are adding new functionality. And this is a good, the reason why I'm doing this is a good opportunity to test if our validation and error handling principles as part of the project structure are adhered to. So we're adding new functionality to our application. We want to create the ability for the logged in user to view their email address and company name. We should use a GET request that extracts the user ID from the authentication token to then be able to look up the user in our database. We also need a put request to allow the user to update their email address. Now we will say, please ensure you follow our project folder structure and error handling and validation I'm going to write it out specifically. Folder structure for Claude. Project folder structure. This is called Express 5 error handling instructions. Which are in your project knowledge and contain important information. Set up our project and ensure consistent. Hey YouTube, how you going? Welcome to another video. Video starting in the background. Consistent approaches for validation wherever required. Please okay. Alright, so it seems to have understood our instructions quite well. So I'm very hopeful of this. There's no need. Yes, let's track. No. Right. So I purposely didn't give it more instructions on the testing. I'm just interested to see what it comes back with. Yes. So far it looks all right. So this is straightforward. We're going to update our user schema. Got the email change history. We're saving the old email, adding the new email, and the time it's changed at. this is just an it's an array of objects. So no matter how many times they change their email, we will do that. In the profile service, we're getting their profile. We find the user by ID. We populate company and name as in their name. We've got our error handling, which is throwing an error. We don't have any try catch blocks, so that's good because we're using Express.js 5 error handling. It did return their role and is the email verified in the response. Not in the response, sorry, in the service. We'll see what it does in the controller. Update email. So again, find user by ID. If user.email equals the new email, so just checking if it's the same email, if the new email is the same as the old one, making sure the email isn't used by an existing user. Record the change history, so we've got our user model, email change history, and we're pushing onto an array this object. Update the email, so new user.email equals the new email, save it, and return the new email. And in the controller, okay, so we are providing the whole profile because here we return email, company name, role, and is email verified. In my instructions, I asked for email and company name, so it's added these two. So not perfect there, Claude, but hey, we'll give you a pass on that one. Updated email is also passing the result, which is just new email, so that's fine. And then in our route, so we do have email validation. I'm going to ask it. What is interesting to me is why aren't we using our validation chains? The tests look good, so let's just ask it that. Everything looks good to me. Can I ask why we don't use our, I don't think it has our email validations chain. Use our validation chains middleware to validate the new email file, new email. If you are not aware, oh, no, hang on, it should be aware. Let me just go. So if we look at, this is the instructions that we provided it. So it did provide the validation chains. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I want to check. Middleware. This was included in the project knowledge base as a key requirement. Okay. Yes, please update. Okay. So I think it's done a half decent job on gut. Obviously the proof is going to be in the pudding. So let's take our user schema. Comment down below. I'm not sure what everyone prefers. Do you prefer that I stay on Claude and then cut and paste off screen into my app, or do you prefer if I have my app and cut and paste and show you the code base? I will try and stick with showing the code base. I imagine that's what most people want to see. We're getting a lot of these errors here because this is all prettier stuff. I need to look into how we can just automatically have prettier, update everything, you know, for just style changes. It's a bit annoying having to do it. So let's add this functionality. So that's the email change history. And then we need to create a new file in our components folder. Sorry, a new folder in our components folder, which is going to be profile. And within this, we are going to have profile.service.js. This profile service. So we're just going to cut and paste this in. We'll just check the path because sometimes they are getting slightly wrong. We're going to save that. Then we need our controller, so profile.controller.js. Again, I think we can just copy and paste that for now. So we've got our get and we've got our update. It is bringing in logger, although logger isn't actually used, so we can remove that. And then we've got our profile routes, but that will get changed. And then we've got our tests, which also got changed. So we now need to, after the advice to Claude that you weren't using validation chains, we need to update that. So we're going to add this new functionality for update email. We will put it presumably at the bottom. That makes sense. We need to go to we need to create a profile routes folder now. So profile.routes.js. I'm going to paste this in. So we just check profile controller. Yep, that makes sense. We need to mount the new route in our index. I don't know. File name. I'm still getting this error because of the capitalization that I changed. I'm really a little bit dumbfounded with that. We're going to call this profile routes. So profile routes equals require. We need to go up one level into our components, and then into profile, and then get profile routes, and then we will do profile routes, save, and then we will also do our tests. So let's go to profile, new folder, profile.test.js. Copy this. Let's have a quick look at these tests. So before each, we're deleting any of the test users. Deployed in Mongoose, but we're not using it. So we make a request to profile. Actually, yeah, I added profile in the index, so we don't need it there. We pass in our token. We check if the email company name's right. Yep, it's good. Should return 401 if not authenticated. We try and update our email, send in the token, type invalidation. It's quite different to our tests that we do when we register an email, so we might ask about that. Here's all the other stuff: missing domain, missing local pub. Okay. Valid formats, update email, reject duplicate emails. Okay, so that looks all pretty good to me. We do have something going on here, so let's just have a look at this. Mongoose server selection error. We had this issue before. It's weird. So, just going to sign in again. And we will go. Okay, that was pretty quick. And then here we're going to run our test in a second. So component /profile/profile.test. Okay, everything's running. Let's run these tests. No tests found. Profile.test. Component. spelling mistake, my bad. Components. Okay, 2 failed. Not bad, Claude, not bad. Emails contain should reject only spaces. Should reject undefined type. Okay. So should reject undefined. Okay. Validation change. Should we? Okay. So instead of asking Claude why these tests are failing, what I'm going to say is we need to account. I'm going to say we have tests that are failing, but it is because our validation chains doesn't account for these potential validation errors. I believe we just need to add these additional points of validation to our validation chains file. Do you agree? If you don't, please let me know if there is another issue we should investigate. Oh my god, can't spell. Okay. So we go to our validation chains update. Previously they were all just custom values, so body custom. So whereas we now just need to check these conditions first. My concern is that, like with the previous tests that we were doing yesterday with registration, it might fail somewhere first, but the test is testing further validation later on down the track. So for example, someone, one of the test cases is, email must be a string. What if someone just puts in numbers? It might fail here, but because it's then all numbers, it might also then not fail somewhere else where the test is trying to work, if that makes sense. Anyway, let's run the test and see what happens. And they all passed. Oh my god. That, I'm actually amazed. So, wow. Claude wrote some new code for us with those additional instructions, and we didn't get any real errors. That's just awesome. So what we're going to do is we are going to very quickly test these functionality using Postman. So what we might do is duplicate, and we are going to hit, go to profile routes. Let's just hit our profile, so /profile. So let me bring profile over here. Postman. I'll log in. I'm going to get our token. I'm going to go to this, not that route, maybe this one. Nope, make this big. Post. No, we need to get header. This is our bearer token. Means replacing. Hang on. Let's get all this crap with it. No. No, I don't want to set it as a variable. You get rid of that, get rid of that, get rid of that and that. Go back to login. Just copy that. Okay. Send that. Awesome. So we get our information back, our email, company name, the role, and is the email verified? It's not, because we created this user before we added the email verification functionality. Then we've got our other route, which is /email and is a put request. So let's just duplicate this. We change this from a get to a put. We have profile /email. Now we do have to pass in some information in the body for this one. So if we go to our controller, we can see update email requires just the email. So if we change this to email, and look, if we look at our get request here, it's test email 28. So I'm going to copy this. I'm going to put this in here, and I'm just going to put a, so test 28a email. Let's send that. Email successfully updated. Now if we come here, this should change to a. Oh my god, very happy with that. Let's go back here. I mean, let's just look at our services again. There's no try catch block. We're using our error handling. It needed a little bit of prompting, but we got there very quickly with our validation chains, and the test file works. Thumbs up, Claude. Great work. All right, we'll stop the video there, and I'll come back and cover off something else very shortly.